Kwaidan, Kwaidan. There's a lot of ghosts in this film. Wow. Hello there, Nate Jackson, Criterion Collection Reviewer Guy here. Once again, my friends, number 90. Masaki Kobayashi's Kwaidan. Or Kaidan. However, whatever side of the world you live on, I guess. 1965, 183 minutes Japanese. Now this one I'm not redoing this one because of the movie. I'm redoing it because I wanted to see the movie again, because I don't remember. I think I was still in my phase where, I think in the first season I was still in the phase where a long movie meant, oh my god, this is boring, you know. But that doesn't matter. Obviously there are a lot of great long movies, and I can't think of any at the moment, sadly. No, the John Cassavetes set, you know, there's a lot of great movies on the John Cassavetes set that are very long, but you know, they're fantastic. But this might be, I mean, I bet 3 hours is pretty long though. I mean, any movie over 3 hours, I mean, is kind of pushing it, you know. But thankfully, it is a very interesting story. It's not the most interesting 3-hour movie. I still think that might be, you know, Seven Samurai, but Kwaidan is a really cool horror ghost story movie. If you're into that, you know, if you're into, you know, that kind of thing, if you're into horror ghost stories, this is the movie for you. I've already talked about it in my first review, and I mean, just a reminder, you know, it's based on 4 stories. There's the one with the guy who leaves his wife to go, you know, make some money with the other woman, and then she finds out that he only married her for the money, so he sends her back to her old wife, and the wife's a corpse, and blah. And then there's a second one where he meets the woman who kills the guy and tells the guy not to tell her about nobody. And then he meets the woman who looks a lot like her, and he tells her about her, and then he has to abandon his children. And then there's the guy with the blind guy who plays the bata, or the instrument, or some instrument. I think it's called the bata or bala, or biwa. No, I don't know what it's called. He plays the instrument, and the ghost wants him to play for this people, and it's not real people. And so the guys write the thing on his body, but they leave out the ears. So when the ghost sees him, comes by, the ghost only sees his ears, so he tears off his ears, and that's it. And that was the thing that I noticed. I didn't notice it. I was watching, and the priest who examines Hoichi is none other than Takashi Shimura from all the great Akira Kurosawa movies we've seen, like Seven Samurai and Ikiru, and so I'm like, is that who I think it is? You know. And it's funny because I made a comment in my Branded to Kill re-review about how it's difficult to follow. It was difficult to follow that movie because a lot of the Japanese, men looked alike, you know. And yet here I am able to notice one particular actor. Well, I mean, I guess it's familiarity, you know. I've seen Takashi Shimura in so many movies. You know, I've seen Toshiro Mifune in so many movies that I'd be able to recognize him a lot better, you know. You know, if I wasn't announced of his, you know, if it didn't say, you know, usually with Toshiro Mifune, usually they, you know, Criterion lavish praise all over whatever movie he's in, because usually he's the starring role anyway. But yeah, no, it was cool to see him. I was like, familiarity. Anyway, yeah, so the guy gets his ears ripped off, and then there's the 4th one, which is weird. You know, the guy sees the faces and the teeth and all that. So yeah, but yeah, this is more about the supplements. The movie was great. I mean, I don't remember what I gave the rating for the first one, but I'm going to give it, I'll give it a new rating for whatever it is. I'm going to give it an A minus. Give it an A minus. Again, minus just the length, just a smidgen shorter. Could have been a little bit shorter. I feel like they could have spent a little more time on the last story. The Hoichi the Earless was the longest segment, and I feel like that might have been, you know, playing favoritism toward that one story might have been a little bit of a problem. I feel like we should have evened up the stories a little bit better. I don't know. No, again, I'm not sure if that was Kobayashi's intent to make Hoichi, like the Hoichi the Earless, the big, you know, the longest story of all 4 stories that are told in Kwaidan. But I don't know. But anyway, A-. So yeah, that's disc 1. Disc 2, they put an interview from with Kobayashi from 1993, which I believe was on the original one, so that's a carryover. But they have two new supplements. A new interview with assistant director Kiyoshi Ogasawara, and which, you know, he tells about working with Kobayashi, and talks about how the, you know, making the how the film was originally, you know, had to be cut because apparently when they tried to get into film festivals, they wouldn't show movies over 2 hours long. So he had to cut down. He cut out the entire Woman in the Snow segment, which I thought was interesting. I mean, I think that's probably my favorite, because the actress who plays the Woman in the Snow is, you know, just Keiko Kishi is just horribly is really creepy. And so I loved seeing her, and she's definitely a horror, very scary, spooky ghost kind of figure. And so to cut her out entirely is, I think, criminal. So there's that, and then a new piece about Lafcadio Hearn, which the stories are based on, which the stories in Kwaidan are based on. He did these versions. I think he was a Spanish author, and so he did these. You know, he did his version of these Japanese stories, and I think he had been criticized for whitewashing them a little bit, but I'm not sure. I didn't really pay attention to it too much, because it was just another white guy talking about Japanese, you know, things. Yeah, just another Donald Ritchie, except even nerdier, probably. Not as he's jacking off while he's giving the interview, you know, because you can see his hands anyway. So anyway, and then there's trailers. There's the black and white trailer, which advertises Kwaidan in color. And I think that's just always hilarious. And then 2 color trailers, and that's it. So Kwaidan, A-, really creepy movie. Check it out on Halloween. So that's basically that ends our re-reviews. So we got one more. Number 300. It's coming Thursday. Again, as I mentioned before in my Branded Kill review, Josh and Caitlin are going to hopefully join me on Thursday. If not, I'm going to have them just do a little review on their own, and I'll edit it together with my review of the movie. And that'll be it. And then next week, hopefully sometime by the end of next week, I'll give it till next week, we'll have our worst reviews, which the first one is coming up later tonight, hopefully later tonight. It might be shot tonight and edited together tonight, and then tomorrow, and uploaded sometime tomorrow, hopefully before I go to work. And I'll probably try to shoot the second one as well, season 2. But I don't know what my schedule is right now. But I'm going to start doing it, because I've got them all ranked. I still haven't ranked season 2 either, but it'll be easy. It'll probably be pretty quick. I think there's still one more I have to cut, and it's just it's still kind of tricky. There were a lot of blah movies, but, you know, I think it's just a matter of which ones are really, really blah, you know. And I think I know which one it's going to be. So anyway, that's for me. Thanks for watching. Don't leave your wife for riches. Don't tell, if you meet a ghost woman, don't tell nobody about her. If you cover a guy with Japanese writing to protect him from ghosts, don't forget the ears, and don't go crazy when you see faces in tea. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. We'll see you either later tonight or tomorrow for my personal hatred of the top 14 worst Criterion movies from season 1, number 1, the spy numbers 1 through 100. It promises to be fun. Anyway, until then, goodbye.